Hello and welcome to this video lecture on fork system call. So in this video lecture we will understand a fork system call with implementation and different examples of how exactly fork system call is working. Okay, so we will start with the introduction of the fork system call. So fork system call is used to create a process. Fork system call used to create a process. It takes no arguments. There are no arguments given to the fork system call, but it returns a process ID. After a new child process is created, both processes will execute the next instruction following the fork system call. So whenever the fork system call occurs, whatever the instructions below it will be executed twice, once by a parent process and another by the child process. So therefore we have to distinguish the parent from the child. This can be done by testing the return value of the fork. So what is the return value of the fork? So fork returns a negative value when the creation of child process is unsuccessful. That means if a fork fails to create a child process because of some reason, maybe memory reason or system call failure reason, if it fails to create a child process, then it will return the negative value. Otherwise, it will return a value 0 in newly created child process, and it will return a process ID of the child. It will return the process ID of the child to the parent. So parent will get a value of the process ID of the child that is greater than 0. Child is almost identical to a parent. That means whatever the instructions are in the parent, the same instructions are in the child process. So child gets an identical exact same copy, but this but is important here, but separate copy of the parent's virtual address space. That means address space for the parent and address space for the child is different. Even though both are identical processes, exactly same copy of each other, the memory storage for parent and memory storage for child is different. So they are isolated from each other. Child gets identical copies of the parent's open file descriptor. Child has a different PID than the parent. So normally the child's process ID, PID means process ID. Child's process ID is next to the parent process ID. That means if parent's process ID is 1024, then child will get 1025. If the parent's process ID is 10, child will get 11, and so on. So the process ID of the child and parent are different. Okay, how exactly fork system call works? So this is the snapshot of the program, simple C program in which one system call is executed here, fork. So when fork is executed, so after execution of the fork, so this will be a scenario. This will be a parent process and this will be a child process. All the variables data declared in the parent process is copied as it is in the child process, but at the different memory location. Okay, let us understand a program. This program has a variable x equals to 1. So this is the PID that is used to catch a return value of the fork system call. This you can define using PID underscore t is a data type for the process ID, or you can simply declare this as an integer also. Okay, so here fork system call is called. So this call onwards, the whatever is the instruction, those will be executed twice. So for separation of the parent and child, what is done here? If PID equals to 0. So if return value of fork system call is 0, that means it is a child process. And if return value is greater than 0, that means it is a parent process. So child process is incrementing a value of x and printing it. Similarly, parent process is decrementing the value of x and printing it. So initial value of x is equals to 1. X equals to 1 here. Then child will print a value of x and parent will also print a value of x. Let us assume that child is executing first. So if child is executing first, so it will increment the value of x and will print it as a 2. And what will be the value printed by a parent process, whether it will be a 1 or 0. So think for a while and answer this question. The value of x variable that is printed by a parent, whether it will be 1 or 0. The value printed by a parent process is 0. Now why it is 0? Because as I have told, even though parent and child have same instructions, those are executed, but their memory location is different. So x memory location for child is different, x memory location for parent is different. So if child is updating the value as 2, it will be updated in child address space, not in the parent address space. So parent will have the x as 1. So let us understand this with the help of the graph. This is main process executing the fork system call. Then child process is created. Then both parent and child are printing value of x. Child will print 2 and parent will print 0. Why parent will print 0? Because initial value for parent is still 1. It is not updated as 2 in the address space of the parent. It is updated in address space of the child. Address space for child and parent is different. That's why value here x is 2, value here x is 0. Then both will terminate. Okay, now this we have understood for one fork system call. Now what if there are multiple fork system calls like this? This is first fork system call, this is second fork system call. So how the execution will happen? So first process will print L0, then fork system call will occur, child will get created, then child and parent will both execute next printf, that is L1. So L1 will be printed by both child and parent. Then again fork system call will execute. Now this fork will be executed by child as well as parent. So here again parent will create one more process and child will create one more process. So last printf message will be printed 4 times. That is 1, 2, 3 and 4 times. So if there is no fork system call, L0 is printed once. If there is one fork system call, L1 is printed twice. And if there are two fork system calls, this and this, by is printed 4 times. Now what will happen if there are 3 fork system calls? So if there is one more fork system call next to this, then what will happen? This parent will create a child process, this child will create a child process, this again will create one more new process, this again will create one more new process. That means 4 new processes will get created and next message will be printed 8 times. Then next how many times? 16 times and so on. That means if there are n number of system calls, so if n value is 0, then it is 2 raised to 0 equals to 1. That means there is single process. If there is one system call, fork system call, there are 2 processes. That means 2 raised to 1. If there are 4, that means it is 2 raised to 2 square. If there are 3, 2 cube. Okay, so formula is, if there are n number of fork system calls, the total number of processes are 2 raised to n, and number of childs are equals to, so how many child processes will be there out of this 2 raised to n? For example, say these 2 processes. How many child are there? This is one child process and this is parent process. So there is one child. How many childs are here? This is main parent process. This is child, this is child, this is child. That means 3. For 8, there are 7 childs. For 16, there are 15 childs. That means number of childs are 2 raised to n minus 8. 2 raised to n minus 1. Okay, so if there are 5 fork system calls, then number of child processes will be 2 raised to 5. That means 32 minus 1 equals to 31. So there will be 31 child processes created if there are 5 fork system calls. Okay, so in this way the number of child process will go on increasing exponentially, and every process in a Unix operating system is created using the child fork system call. So this is the feasible output, this is the infeasible output. So feasible and infeasible means, so this is feasible because the first L0 message printed, then L1, then it might be possible that after printing, executing this fork system call, parent is immediately printing the by. Then the child of the is printing by. Then next is L1. So execution is shifted to a first child process, so it will print L1, then by, and then by. This is infeasible. Why it is infeasible? Because first message L0, which is correct, second message is by. Now this by can't be printed here. Why it cannot be printed here? Because after a fork system call, there are two statements here, L1 and L1. So L1 must be printed after L0. By will be printed only when second system call is executed. But before second system call, there is a L1 message. So that's why by should be later than the L1. So L0 by L1 is invalid. So we will understand this with the help of program. Let us execute some sample program. The program is including the header file stdio.h for input and output, sys/types.h and initstd.h for the system calls. Let us declare one variable int PID, then PID equals to fork. Now this fork will return a value. So if PID equals to 0, meaning of that is a child process and this one is a parent process. Okay, so here we will print hello. So in order to understand the message, we will print this message is printed by a child, then return 0, so child will terminate. The same we will copy from here and will print in a parent process. So here we are printing a hello message by a parent. Okay, so a simple program in which we have separated the child process and the parent process. Child is printing hello, parent is printing hello. Let us save this program and execute in the terminal. So the programming you can do in normal gedit editor also, or you can use the VS Code. Okay, so in gedit you have to compile the program on the terminal. In VS Code also you will get the terminal, but my suggestion is for you to use the VS Code for the programming, because later when you will get a job or when you will go for the project implementation, you will require some advanced editor. You can't type everything in the notepad. That's why either use VS Code, Eclipse or NetBeans, whatever the editor that you know or that you want to learn. So if you don't know the Eclipse or NetBeans, don't try to go for the Eclipse or NetBeans. Directly go for the VS Code, because VS Code is more powerful than other editors. You can write a program of any language in VS Code, starting from web technologies, Java, Android, everything you can do with the help of VS Code. Okay, so let us save this program. Open the terminal. So terminal is available in VS Code only. Let us type a command to execute a program, gcc fork demo.c execute./a. So child is saying hello and parent is saying hello. So first parent is executing, then child is executing. Let us check one more time. Parent child, parent child, parent child. Okay, so here there is only one statement. So the parent is always executing first, but it is not the fixed order that always a parent will execute. Sometimes a child will execute first, sometimes parent will execute first. So minimize this terminal and let us take an example of the example that we have studied in the PPT. X equals to 1. Printf. Let us say C colon %d comma plus x. So child is printing a value by incrementing by 1 and parent is printing a value %d by decrementing by 1 minus x. Okay, now I have told you that parent will print a 0 and child will print a 2. Let us check whether the same thing happens here or not. Let us clear the output screen. gcc. Every time you update the program, don't forget to compile. So parent is printing 0, child is printing 2. One more time, same value, same order. Okay, now how many times the printf statement will execute? If there is one fork system call. So we are removing now conditions for child and parent. So all the processes will print the common message, that is printf/n hello. Is there any error here? No. Printf hello will be printed by each process that is executing. So if there is one system call, how many times hello will get printed? Simple answer, 2 times, 2 raised to 1. 4 times. We have used a fork here also, so we will remove this fork. If there is one system call, it should execute only twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, add one more fork system call here. And check the output. One, two, three, 4. Okay, now I will remove a /n from here, so that space will be reserved. How many system calls? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 raised to 6 is 64. So it is printed 64 times. Not required to count. It is printed 64 times. You can blindly believe that, because the formula for number of times it will be executed is a 2 raised to n. So let us check whether the formula is correct or not. For 3 system calls, 2 raised to 3, that means 8 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is printing 8 times. We are getting output somewhat like this. Here /n is not printed because it depends on the scheduling, how much time every process is getting. Maybe for printing this /n, the time is over for the sum of the process. So that's why you are getting the output like this. So don't consider it as a wrong output. It is correct. It is because of time shared operating systems. That is, time is shared between the different processes. Okay, so this is about the fork system call. So in next lecture we will understand the orphan process and the zombie process. Thank you.